Hola a todos, bienvenidos. Vamos a continuar con Disco Elysium. Vamos a ir, yo creo, a las cortinas estas directamente.
The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
Descorra las cortinas.
Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
Su mano se aferra al colgante mientras los dedos juguetean inquietos sobre el talismán.
Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
¿Por qué tiene miedo? ¿Es por la maldición?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtains.
Señora, esto es distinto. Soy agente de policía. Tengo que entrar ahí.
Why? It's not like anyone was killed there.
Se detiene repentinamente, llevándose la mano a la boca, desconcertada por su propia brusquedad.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers.
Pero siento como si me estuviera llamando. Tengo que cruzar el umbral e investigar.
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir.
Me da igual, no puede detenerme. Voy a correrlas.
No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say.
Okay.
There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. The curtains, tattered with age and covered.
Vale, pues a ver qué nos tiene que decir la señora.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
¿Por qué está tan recelosa respecto a las cortinas? Tan solo quiero saber qué hay al otro lado.
I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books.
Si no es más que un almacén, ¿qué hacen esas salvaguardas emerentes ahí?
It's just for decoration.
Se estremece ante tu mirada, con la boca tan apretada que parece poco más que una fina línea en su rostro, y luego se rompe.
Okay, fine. It's just because this place is cursed, just like everyone said. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
Cierra los ojos y le farfulla algo a su colgante.
Take it easy. You've broken her resistance. Pushing her further will gain nothing.
¿Cómo se manifiesta la maldición?
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
Didn't that curtain just move?
¿Sí? No, no la he visto moverse. Nick dijo que los anteriores propietarios han atravesado ciertas dificultades económicas.
It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something supernatural here. It's the cacodemons feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
Sounds familiar.
Qué raro, yo siento lo mismo. ¿Qué significará todo esto?
Truly so? Perhaps the dark energies are leeching off you. You shouldn't stay in the store too long. It may be dangerous.
¿Por qué no me dijo directamente que se trataba de la maldición?
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
Wow. Void raves. You have new words.
¿Ha buscado ayuda?
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards.
Asiente en dirección a la extraña fusilería con forma de jaula en las cortinas.
The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building, even though now I fear it's not enough.
¿Su colgante es un amuleto protector?
Oh, this. No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a
Wow.
spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books.
¿En serio?
There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's
Ajá.
guaranteed to boost sales. 15%.
Y lo dice toda convencida.
Desert pygmy shamans. That sounds like a rather questionable way to describe a group of people.
Y tanto. ¿Quiere que abra una investigación? Podría averiguar si la maldición es real.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
Jolín,
My
pero yo...
liege, you know
¿Cómo
what this
hacemos?
case calls for? A paradetective.
Para detective. A ver, tengo un par de preguntas.
Okay, but please, only a few questions.
Nada,
The
eran
woman
estas.
looks aloof, her features much softer. Occasionally she glances at her daughter's silhouette.
Vamos a ver, 92%. Esto no puedo fallarlo, ¿no?
Slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class perfidy looks like.
Señora, he venido a ayudar. No es la primera vez que me enfrento a un suceso paranormal.
Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before.
He regresado del vacío. Soy un parainspector descendiente de un largo linaje de parainspectores.
You're no paradetective. You look nothing like one. And you're clearly a drinker. Pardon me for being so blunt, but
You look like one.
Está bastante claro que te bebes hasta las macetas.
The lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook. Go ahead then. Rock her world, he thinks. I'll compose some notes.
Admito que me gusta empinar el codo, pero solo porque el reino espectral deja a uno sin fuerzas, para psicológicamente hablando.
how do you know all this?
Here we go.
Sus salvaguardas me han traído aquí, la sangre semenense corre por mis venas.
You're part Simonese. Oh, it means our meeting couldn't have been mere chance.
Ujú,
The hand of fate guides us.
por supuesto.
But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us.
Nada de lo que preocuparse. Usted y su familia estarán a salvo. Los fantasmas no son rival para mí. Oh, voy a declarados. Pregúntale a mi compañero Kim. Él me puede avalar.
Oh, certainly so, ma'am. I can assure you my partner is eminent in this particular field.
If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it?
Por mi honor.
Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet.
Ujú.
The entity.
La entidad.
Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
Por supuesto, la entidad. Pues su presencia ya se ha hecho sentir.
You have? The entity takes the form of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney?
¿En la chimenea? ¿El pasadizo entre el cielo y el infierno? Pues claro.
Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume.
Ujú.
You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it. Oh, and please do return to me after you've looked round. I'm quite
Vale.
anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there.
Unbelievable darkness and ruin.
Okay,
una
but please,
pregunta.
only
No,
a-
The woman
todo. Hasta la vista, librera. A ver, vamos a ver. Madre mía, ¿cuántas tareas tenemos todavía? Investiga la zona comercial maldita. Según la gente, el edificio comercial de la plaza está maldito. Ningún negocio ha conseguido prosperar allí sin caer en la bancarrota. Le prometiste a Plaisance que lo investigarías. Cruza la puerta sellada en la trastienda de la librería y descubre qué ocurrió con los anteriores negocios. Ok, pues allá vamos.
You see a set of tattered...
Venga, les corro las cortinas.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Seminese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
Oh!
Un pequeño y acongojado ¡ah! Se escapa de la Plaisance mientras hace todo lo posible para mirar hacia otro lado mientras descubre el rojizo rostro con ambas manos. Oye, pero esto está un poco oscuro, ¿no? Ah, bueno, no tanto. Era simplemente que no se veía. Siluetas fantasmagóricas de secadoras de pelo. Ese es el retrato de un hombre ligeramente andrógino. De todas formas, yo creo que tengo una... Aquí está, una linterna. Me la voy a poner, por si acaso. Que nos puede venir bien. Vamos a abrir la puerta.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
¿Llamar a la puerta?
Only an echo. No one is there.
Abrir la puerta con la llave.
After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room.
Abrir la puerta y entrar. Chun, chun, chun. ¿Qué habrá aquí? ¿Qué habrá aquí? La arena del saco de boxeo está derramada. A ver, ¿qué me quiere decir Kim?
What is this place?
El teniente observa el polvoriento equipo de entrenamiento. Es el averno más allá del velo. Ah, parece un gimnasio.
Yes, but no one's been here in ages.
Dibujo una raya en el suelo polvoriento con el pie.
I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us.
An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
¿Y si hubiera una razón por la que no ha venido nadie en años?
Yes, because it's closed. No need to look for supernatural explanations where a banal one will do. Now let's move on, shall we?
Supongo que no le hace mucha gracia que estemos por aquí dando vueltas cuando podríamos estar investigando el caso, ¿verdad? Bola para el lanzamiento de peso. Esto a lo mejor nos sirve para darle a los señores estos. Los de la petanca. En el póster pone Citius, Fortis, el resto es ilegible. Por aquí hay unas escaleras. Aquí unas pesas. A ver qué nos dice aquí. Unas espalderas desgastadas, no parecen muy seguras. A ver, ¿puedo hacer algo con esto?
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar?
Creo que no, Creo que no le voy a dar aquí. ¿Me resulta familiar porque soy levantador de pesas?
No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone. It's just a memory.
Mira, aquí en buena trampa, la barra no tiene abrazaderas.
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then.
¿Qué clase de bastardo le quitaría las abrazaderas? Tendría que ser un delito.
It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore.
Pues nos vamos, no me arriesgo a intentar levantar eso porque vamos, la puedo liar parda. Vamos a ver por aquí entonces. Más rollo da esto, tan oscuro. El pasillo está bloqueado por escombros y paneles de cristal viejos. Esto da un poco de camelo, ¿Por ahí se puede ir? Sí. No parecerá nada raro por ahí, ¿no? Una damajona llena de un líquido extraño. Animales salvajes te observan en la oscuridad, disecados y enmarcados. Al rollo, ¿no? Rotores de avionetas cubiertos de telarañas te recuerdan a espadas. Por aquí hay cosas. A ver si puedo dar la vuelta. Qué más rollo, por aquí hay como maniquís. Un poco creepy. Dinero, esto me gusta. El torso desnudo de un maniquí tiene un extraño color amarillento. Mira, por aquí también se puede ir, ¿no? Es el otro lado del pasillo. Ahí hay otras escaleras. Bueno, vamos a ver antes esto, ¿no?
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
¿Examinar los bosquejos?
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? You should adopt one of those welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a welkin. One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
Esto es importante, examinar a los welkin.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures.
¿Quién invertiría tanto tiempo en algo así?
Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game.
¿Qué son estas criaturas? ¿Quién los dibujó? ¿Son auténticas? Tengo tantas preguntas.
This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
Uno de ellos es un supremacista welkin.
Political commentary. That one has a great beard too.
Bueno, ha sido didáctico, pero dejemos a los welkin por ahora.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
And for what? All gone.
Examino las fotos.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Examino el plan.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimum, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. Minimi stands for a mini-meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed.
Seguir leyendo, ¿qué pasó?
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details."
Ok. Examinar las notas.
The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: Call in, Tune out, Wirral Untethered, and Heat Death of the Universe.
Vale.
The handwriting is only...
Perdón. Ajá. O sea que estaban haciendo aquí como una especie de videojuego, quizás.
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
The radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
¿Crees que debería encenderla?
We have one of these down at the station, but I never really learned how to use it.
¿Encender la máquina?
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
Mirar dentro del compartimento.
It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected.
This is where the memory should go.
Pulsa reproducir.
Nothing happens.
Pulsa
Nothing
imprimir.
happens.
Pues este. O sea que nos falta algo. Algo tenemos que encontrar ahí, ¿no? A ver, aquí qué hay.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker. The mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. A diagram for summoning some time-forgotten being? The symbols seem very esoteric. The whole thing resembles Kadran mosaic tiles. Very pesantic.
What? Son teselas quedriáticas. Un momento, ¿cómo es que cómo son las teselas quedriáticas?
History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun.
¿Qué ven mis ojos?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
¿Radiofrecuencias para qué?
Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
Entonces, ¿esto tiene que ver algo con la medicina?
You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled The Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants.
Espera, ¿quién es el director del juego?
Someone very important. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people. A conductor for the hundreds of story threads that pass through the Game Master's frequency.
¿Si es un juego, quién está jugando?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. All of this is gone, left unrealized. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
¿Por qué lo dices?
The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
¿Qué más?
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Aquí hay una puerta también. Garabateado de un cuaderno. Desarrolladores del RPG más avanzado del universo. ¿Qué me quieres decir? Kim.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
Parece un programa de contraespionaje ultra secreto.
No, that's not it. I think
El teniente da un paso atrás, frotándose las manos.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
¿Cómo planeaban hacerlo?
Through call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
¿Alguien había intentado esto antes?
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry.
Not in Revachol West, among the ruins.
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an interisolary game before. We just don't have the technology.
¿Y esto era un juego de rol?
Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WeWorld board game, with hit death thrown in.
Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished.
True. ¿Qué crees que le pasó a la compañía?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
Voila.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
Podríamos darle dinero. La maldición se los comió, no veo otra explicación.
Ah, yes. The doom of bad business practices.
El teniente observa la habitación abandonada. Las tuberías aullan y una rata avanza ruda por el suelo.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Vamos a ver qué más hay por aquí. Ahí hay una puerta, por ahí había unas escaleras. Tenemos bastante que ver. Terciopelo azul, suave al tacto y apolillado. Más dinero. Uy, esto me gusta. Esquíes con el logo de Slipstream, impreso en la capa superior laminada. Ok. Palas de rotor de acero con el logo de Slipstream. Ok. Oh, filamento de memoria. Plan de producción. Ok. Oye, esto entonces lo podré meter ahí en la maquinita esa. ¿Aquí hay algo más? ¿Hay como una puerta aquí o no? No, no se puede abrir. Vamos a probar el cuadradito ese, a ver si lo puedo usar aquí. ¿Dónde estamos? ¿Dónde estamos? ¿Puedo interactuar con él? No. Filamento de memoria. Un amasijo de filamentos en forma de cubo. Parece frágil al tacto. Su intrincada estructura está cubierta de polvo. En su lateral cuenta con una banda adhesiva que reza Plan de producción. Nota, este filamento contiene información legible a través de una radiocomputadora. Ok, pues vamos a probar a ver si funciona aquí, ¿no?
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard.
Insertar plan de producción.
Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
A reproducir, ¿no?
A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart beginning to flutter?
Seguro.
The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good evening, Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1.
Hola.
Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
¿Qué es el plan de producción?
The filament you have inserted into the reader.
Ah, claro, gracias por la explicación.
That was a question. Have you inserted it into the core?
Sí.
Good. Please repeat the password.
You should ask her for a hint.
Una contraseña. Las contraseñas se me dan fatal. ¿No me puede dar una pista?
No.
Gracias.
A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations.
Soy policía. Por favor, abra esta cosa.
I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder Fortress Accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament.
I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month.
Now, can you please repeat the password?
No me sé la contraseña.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Fortress Accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
¿Por qué me ha llamado Fortress Accident?
Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
¿Tiene más datos sobre esta compañía?
One moment.
Hayas rebuscar entre páginas antes de recitar en voz alta y cuidadosamente.
Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
That's not bad.
¿Cómo funcionan dichos radiojuegos interactivos?
Any other questions?
¿Eres una máquina o estás viva?
Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old
Wow.
and my name is Yvonne.
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
Vale, pero ¿dónde se encuentra? ¿Cómo sabía que estaba aquí?
I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian repeater station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress Accident. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle, surrounded by a wall of radios.
Doesn't it get lonely, sitting there all by herself?
¿No es un trabajo un poco solitario?
Lonely? Why would it get lonely? I get to talk to people all day.
That's why she does this.
Now, please tell me if there's anything else I can do, Fortress Accident.
Es todo por ahora.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard.
¿Puedo imprimir?
Nothing happens. The
Me lo
filament
voy a sacar.
slides out of its glowing nest.
Vale, me voy a llevar el cubito este, por si acaso. Vale, lo tengo aquí. No lo quiero dejar ahí metido. Y ahora tenemos que encontrar la contraseña de alguna forma. Vamos a ver qué hay por aquí en esta puerta. Nos lleva a otro sitio. Más dinero. Esto siempre nos gusta. El dinero siempre nos gusta y nos viene estupendamente. A ver, ¿me dices? El viento huye desde el conducto de carbón. Ok. ¿Qué es esto? Es un oso. ¿Qué hace? ¿Es una nevera con forma de oso? Parece una nevera. Bueno, a lo mejor es otra cosa. ¿Qué más tenemos por aquí? Esto parece como una caldera, ¿no? La pared se ha derrumbado, no se puede pasar. Vale, ¿y por aquí abajo puedo ir? Sí. ¿Qué es esto? Es una máquina de helados desenchufada y descongelándose. ¿Y esto? La linterna proyecta una sombra extraña. Hay una puerta oculta. ¿Puedo entrar? Sí. Un par de rifles escondidos sobre tuberías. Están oxidados y parecen inservibles. Wow. Alguien ha escondido unas armas inservibles en el falso techo.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
¿Dónde estamos?
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Mira, hay un agujero en la pared.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Venga, vale.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Kim, rifles.
Are these any good?
Examinar los
Most
rifles.
of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others. Take it. You're a police officer. Police officers carry guns.
¿Verdad, es verdad? Esta tiene buena finta.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
¿Por qué estaría este rifle aquí escondido?
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
Ah, nos vamos. A ver. Pues es que no quiero un rifle para nada. ¿Qué más? Aquí hay más cosas. Aquí hay un montón de cosas. Esta es una máquina de helado descongelada que todavía funciona. Más dinero. Estupendo. Siempre queremos dinero. ¿Qué es esto?
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads off into the darkness, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
Don't rip the red one out. You'll awaken the ghosts.
¿A desenchufar el cable negro?
Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Why did you do that?
Porque es negro, como el color del cosmos inconmensurable.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has 1 cable missing.
Me voy. Aquí hay unas escaleras. Aquí hay más cosas. Camiseta de rejilla. A ver. Ropa. ¿De dónde has sacado esto? No, en serio. ¿Quién la dejó en el cajón? En fin, sin comentarios. Póntela bajo tu propia responsabilidad. Tú verás. Me da más una abstracción, más una manipulación. Y este me da teatralidad. A ver cómo es puesta. ¡Oh! Es casi como medio... ¡Ah! Esta rejilla se ve todo. ¡Ah! No, vístete. No, vístete. Así. Casi prefiero la camiseta esta chambrosa. My god. Los cables del intercomunicador conectan con el cuadro eléctrico. Vamos a ver el oso ese que estaba ahí detrás, que al final no lo hemos visto y algo se podía hacer ahí. Mira, ahí tenemos que ver también la caldera, que también se puede interactuar. A ver.
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost and the bear's eyes are glowing red. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy?
¿Qué es esta cosa? Parece un oso polar gigante.
The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door.
¿Forzar la puerta?
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself.
Ay,
This
los
is
ojos
the
rojos,
inside
mira.
of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Tranquilo, Kim, solo es una nevera.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge.
El teniente relaja la mano. La luz procedente de la nevera abierta baña su
Let's
rostro.
take a look inside.
Mirar
The
dentro.
shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
Coger la
You
nota.
pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
examinar envoltorios de helado.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge.
¿Se puede saber qué narices hace una nevera con forma de oso en el sótano abandonado?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
El teniente coge uno de los envoltorios y lo examina a la luz. O sea, que intentaban vender helado con esta nevera.
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice.
Y tanto, pero sí es súper creepy.
What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
Y tanto que lo tienen enchufado.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic.
A cerrar la puerta. ¿Qué me cuentas?
Rigorous self-critique. Here it is. Hard facts from the man you are. You once jerked off in the locker room and were caught. You held a young woman by the arm and kept her in your apartment for 20 minutes against her will. That's right. These are not flights of fancy. These are real deeds, Harry,
Okay.
emerging from the darkness of your past. You tried shooting a fleeing suspect in the foot, but hit him in the pelvis, crippling him for life. And, above all, you let life defeat you. All the gifts your parents gave you, all the love and patience of your friends, you drowned in a neurotoxin. You let misery win, and it will keep on winning till you die, or overcome it.
Wow. Nuevo personajillo. Pues guay. Aquí las tenemos. No tengo ninguna nueva a todo esto. No, todavía no tengo ninguna. Vamos a ver qué decía la nota y yo creo que ya lo dejaremos aquí por hoy. O bueno, no, venga, lo vamos a dejar ya para el siguiente episodio. Así os dejo con la intriga. Así que nada, como siempre os digo, si os está gustando la serie, por favor dejad un like al vídeo, no olvidéis suscribiros y darle a la campanita para no perderos ninguno de los siguientes episodios ni ninguno de los vídeos nuevos que subimos al canal. No me podéis dejar en los comentarios lo que queráis, que los leo todo y nada, nos vemos muy pronto en el próximo vídeo. Muchas gracias.